Hi, third grade. Today I'm going to read to you about one of my favorite artists. His name is Vincent Van Gogh. The story was written and illustrated by Mike Venezia. Vincent Van Gogh was one of the most tragic artists who ever lived. Nothing ever seemed to go right for him, and he wasn't very happy. He never even smiled in his self-portraits. Van Gogh was born in Holland in 1853 and died in France in 1890. Unlike most artists, Van Gogh didn't decide to become a painter until he was grown up. He tried a lot of other things first. He worked in an art gallery selling paintings. He tried teaching. He worked in a bookstore, and he was a preacher like his dad. None of these things made him very happy. Then one day he decided to be an artist. I'm going to show you these pictures really quickly, and then I'll read them to you. It says, "You call that a good painting? My 5-year-old could do better. This isn't making me very happy." As a teacher, he goes, "This isn't making me very happy either." As a bookseller, this definitely isn't making me happy. "No, I said that one. Can't you hear?" And as a preacher, "I think I'll be an artist. That might make me happy." Van Gogh always tried his best at whatever he did, so he went to different art schools to learn everything he could about drawing and painting. His early drawings were of the poor people he used to help when he was a preacher. There are certain things you can see in his drawings that show up later in his famous paintings, such as the strong lines and shapes. You can see the feelings he had for everyday people. So these are pictures he drew of some people when he was a preacher. They're also real drawings from him. I want you to remember that. Van Gogh's first paintings were also of the poor people he had been helping. The family was so poor, they had only a few potatoes to eat for dinner. They looked tired and not very happy. The colors in Van Gogh's early paintings are dark and sad. He wanted everyone to know how hard the lives of the poor people were. So here are a couple of his paintings. As you can see, he represented what he wanted to say through the artwork. He didn't have to say it or write it down, but through his artwork, he was able to show and share his feelings to the others that are looking at it. Van Gogh kept using dark colors until he discovered some very colorful Japanese artwork. He loved the bright colors and strong lines and shapes that he saw. Soon, Van Gogh's paintings started to look much more colorful. Look at the difference between the gloomy potato eaters and the paintings above, which was done only a few years later. Up here it says, "Wow, I wonder what that bright stuff is. It's called yellow, blue, red, and orange." So here's the picture with the bright colors and the yellows in it. And then I'm going to turn back. And this is the picture of his people that were poor with those very dark colors. You can see, like, in just a couple of years, his whole style of artwork changed. We know a lot about how Van Gogh felt and why he did certain things because he was always writing letters to his younger brother, Theo. Theo always helped his brother. He encouraged him to paint and sent him money when he could. Because Van Gogh was always sending and receiving letters, he got to know his postman pretty well. He painted pictures of him and used the postman's wife as a model in many of his paintings as well. "Who is it from, dear?" "It's a letter from Vincent. He says he's sick. Nobody likes him. His room doesn't have any heat. His back is killing him, and I should send him money as soon as possible." Sounds like he's doing much better. So there's the picture of his brother in the little cartoon. And then over here is the picture of the postman that he painted. In 1886, Vincent moved to Paris, France to join Theo. Paris was the center of the art world then. Since Theo was in the business of buying and selling paintings, and Vincent wanted to be an artist, it seemed like a pretty good place to be. Theo introduced Vincent to a lot of painters while they lived in Paris. Hardly anyone knew it then, but many of those painters would become world-famous artists someday. Over here, it says, Vincent, I'd like you to meet Talios-Lautrec, Amelia Bernard, Camille Pissarro, George Seurat, Paul Signac, and Paul Guenguin. Gee, Theo, I was hoping to meet somebody famous. A couple of years later, Vincent Van Gogh decided to leave Paris and move to a small country town called Arles. Van Gogh thought Arles would be a great place for artists to get together to paint and talk about their different ideas. He tried very hard to get as many artists as he could to join him. The only one to try it out was Paul Gauguin, although he wasn't really crazy about the idea. It turned out to be a big mistake. Gauguin didn't seem to like anything Van Gogh did in Arles. They argued a lot. Your painting is terrible, your cooking is terrible, I'm a better artist than you are, I wish I never come here, worst of all, you never pick anything up, this place is a mess. You are such a grouch. Van Gogh probably decided to listen to Gauguin about cleaning the place up, because his bedroom looks pretty neat in this painting. This is a painting Van Gogh did about his bedroom. Finally, after a very bad argument, Gauguin decided to leave Van Gogh and return to Paris. Van Gogh didn't know what to do. He really wanted things to work out well with Gauguin. Van Gogh had always had problems during his life with the way he felt. Sometimes he would get so angry and upset that no one could make him feel better. This time, he became so angry and upset he cut off part of his ear. Van Gogh painted pictures of himself after this happened. It looks like he wished he hadn't done it. Vincent Van Gogh never really got better after Gauguin left him. So in this picture, it really doesn't look like he's very happy that he cut off his ear. I know some of us get really upset at times and we feel angry or really down in the dumps, especially in times like now, but it's never a good idea to hurt ourselves. But instead of doing that, maybe Van Gogh could have painted more. Because if you look at the paintings, he doesn't look so happy. So I want you guys to find some creative way to show your expressions and emotions during this time. Sometimes he was too angry to paint, and sometimes he was too sad to paint. When he felt good, he painted better than ever. He made the stars in the starry night seem like they're really shining. The trees in this painting look like flames, and it feels like the whole picture is moving. So this picture is called Starry Night. It is probably Vincent's most famous picture that he's ever painted. And this picture is a picture of the trees, and if you can see, it kind of looks like they're moving. In this painting, Van Gogh made the sun look really hot. You almost feel like you should put sunglasses on to look at it. That picture looks really hot. I really do feel like I need my sunglasses right now. What about you? Van Gogh usually put his paint on very thick. Sometimes he painted so fast he didn't even mix his colors. He used paint right out of the tube. Van Gogh used so much paint, he was always running out. Sometimes he stopped buying food in order to buy more paint. So he was hungry a lot of the time and he wasn't healthy. I'd like to order some lemon yellow, pea green, cherry red, and I'll have an orange for dessert. So that's a picture of his sunflowers that he's very, very famous for painting. And then here's a little cartoon that I read at the end of the story. But when you're looking at this picture of the sunflowers, take a moment and just kind of look at it. You can kind of see how thick it is even through this picture that he used to paint. How much depth there is with each petal of the sunflowers. Hardly anyone was interested in Van Gogh's work while he was alive. He sold only a few drawings and maybe one or two paintings. People in the 1880s and the 1890s just weren't used to the bright, moving pictures that Van Gogh made. Today, things are different. People have learned how beautiful Vincent Van Gogh's art is. Now his paintings are some of the world's most popular in the world. This may have been Van Gogh's last painting. Some people think it shows how angry and upset he must have been feeling because he painted a scary sky, roads that led to a dark background, and crows that looked like bats. Soon after this painting was finished, Van Gogh shot himself. He died 2 days later. Van Gogh, guess what? You finally sold a painting. Maybe I have a future in this after all. Van Gogh made his paintings seem alive with color. His colors were so bright and beautiful, you can almost smell the flowers he painted or feel the bright sun. His brush strokes gave everything a feeling of movement. Trees, stars, and people feel alive. Maybe more than any other artist, Van Gogh's feelings came out in his paintings. That's why Vincent van Gogh is one of the world's greatest artists. So here's some more of his paintings that he's done. This is a sunflower you kind of saw. Here are some more landscapes. There is a building room, and here is a lady. Maybe that's the postman's wife that we heard early in this story that modeled for him. I don't know. It's much better to see a real Vincent van Gogh painting than a picture of one. It's fun to see how thick he put his paint on, his brush strokes, and how bright his colors are. The pictures in this book came from the museums listed below. If none of them is close to you, maybe you can visit one when you are on vacation. So in here they have museums from all over the place. Some of them are in New York, some of in Washington, D.C., and other countries, ones in Connecticut. I do believe that there are some paintings at the Cleveland Art Museum, or they like to come and travel around, and the Cleveland Art Museum is one of the places that his artworks will tend to stop at. I encourage all of you to look into his artwork to see how his pictures seem so moving and how he put his emotions into his artwork to show the beauty and his emotions into the painting. One thing I want to encourage you guys to do is when you guys are feeling down or happy or something, take your emotions and go do something creative. You can do a painting like Vincent van Gogh did. You can do a drawing. You can write. You can knit. Whatever you think you want to do, try it out. See how it works. Show the world how you feel by doing something creative. Sometimes it's the only thing we can do in times like this. So right now, I hope you guys enjoyed the story about Vincent van Gogh. He was a true painter and is one of the best painters in the world. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, third grade.